If you haven't seen my videos recently, I'm dealing with a leg problem. My left leg, hamstring area. For a couple of weeks, I had tried to deal with it on the bike, but it wasn't abating. So eventually I decided to take 5 days off the bike. On the 6th day, I came back and did a Zwift ride, 2 hours moderate pacing. I felt pretty good. I can still tell there were some things to have to be concerned about, but I was happy. The big test was the next day. I did 2 hours easy endurance, and there things became evident. I was having some problems. Even though with Zwift, you're consistently pedaling, you don't have wind resistance nor gravity factors in which to deal with. It was those two items that was aggravating what was left of my injury. So my plan was set. Even though I'm off between the holidays and it's a beautiful day outside, this is going to be a week of Zwifting for me. A cycling community, this is Steve Grusis, the Cycling Greek. Even though I have calories with me because I'm going to be doing endurance afterwards, I am going to try and do this all with just water. I've been on Zwift for maybe half a year, and this is the second workout I've ever done on it. Now, the reason I'm doing this workout is because of what I've gone through recently with my leg. Part of what's happened is I haven't been able to do any Zwift crits because I was real concerned about doing something like that and making things worse. One of the things I often talk about in my videos is the need for upper intensity in the off season, especially if you're an old guy like me. If I did nothing but endurance during the off season, I'd have a great base, but I wouldn't have anything in my anaerobic engine. Where a junior or a U23 can do about 3 weeks of anaerobic work and be fine for the race season, it would take me much, much longer. And that's why I have to have a sprinkling of it in my off-season training. The reason I chose this workout is I figured this would be a good one to get my speed back up again on this Zwift City crit that I love to do. My upper intensity has waned since I had to stop doing those crits about 3.5 weeks ago. After I upgraded to a Category B, it took a while for me to get to the point where I can hang with these guys. In fact, it was the last crit that I did, and I'll have that linked in the description below, where I was able to stay with the pack until the last lap. If I was to jump into a crit now, I'd last 1, maybe 2 laps. Let's visit the question of what actually attracted me to this workout. Since this was a group workout, part of the answer is timing. The other is obviously the makeup of the workout. The meat of the workout focuses on 2 macro sets of the following. 5 intervals at 30 seconds on at 4.5 watts per kilogram, then 30 seconds off at 2 watts per kilogram. And when you're done with that, it's followed immediately by 10 minutes at threshold, which is 3.5 watts per kilogram. After doing 5-minute easy spin at 2 watts per kilogram, you repeat the same thing. This is a 52-minute workout when you include the warm-up and the cool-down. This was going to be a tough workout for me. First, I didn't know if I was going to be able to do all 5 of the 30-second max efforts. I could easily see where I would die off after the third one. And then there was a question of if I did get through that first set, would I be actually able to do the second set? Regardless of what the outcome would be, the key for me in this workout is to put everything I had into it, to adhere to the parameters. As it turned out, on the first macro set, I was able to complete all 5 30-second max efforts on points. And then I went right into the 10-minute threshold, and I was able to complete that on point 2. During the 5-minute 2 watt per kilogram ride, I was questioning whether I was going to be able to complete that second macro set. As it got to the 4th minute, I was feeling a lot better, but still the questioning was there. On that second set, I was able to again do all 5 30-second efforts. But on the 10-minute threshold that followed, I could never even get close to that wattage. Best I could do for the 3.5 was 2.5 watts per kilogram, and I couldn't even sustain that. So after about 5 minutes of that, I just went to straight endurance, and then on the cool down period, I just kept up that pace. Should I do this workout again in a few days, I am fairly confident, not totally confident, fairly confident that I can complete the whole thing on point. It is hours later and I'm sitting here processing this video. My legs are kind of settling in. While it's not perfect, my leg is feeling pretty darn good. My theory that riding on Zwift and not riding outside on the road seems to be pretty valid. There are other things that I'm doing that are also helping that hopefully that I'll talk about in my next video. I hope you got something out of this video. Remember, comment, like, subscribe. The Cycling Greek.